We don't have a lot of castles in America like they do in Germany and Europe. So the courthouse took on that image, I guess, in a young person's mind, in my mind anyway.
Through the design, it has such a feeling of majesty.
As you know, we had some major modifications in 1931 and adding on the county clerk's vault in the 50s.
It is beautiful from the outside, but if you have 5 minutes, please come in the door. It is a public building. Walk in, walk around, enjoy, and I think that you will see what we have here.
I think preserving history is so important, not only for us, but for our next generation.
This entire first floor was torn out, including this balcony.
I think that in the case of our courthouse, that the restoration was a good decision.
There was some discussion as to what configuration the courthouse should be restored to, whether it's the original 1898 configuration or sometime in the 1930s after the jail expansion had been completed, or even later in the 1950s when an additional expansion had been completed.
It's like looking at a pyramid or a ruin. You can put yourself, then kind of transport yourself and think about those people that actually chiseled those stones and built this building originally.
I can look back and remember days as a young child driving down Castell Street, looking at what's now McAdoo's restaurant and remembering when it was a post office box. I want my children and my grandchildren, or even great-grandchildren, to see the courthouse and see its beauty.
It really presents a picture to people that are visiting New Braunfels and to our citizens of what that courthouse looked like in 1898.
The Comal County Courthouse has undergone many changes, the first of which happened around 1930. The old jail, originally built in 1878 behind the first courthouse, was adequate, but it had been condemned by several grand juries.
Very few people are here that could remember it prior to the 31 edition. So that was the courthouse to us.
The courtroom was the location of some interesting court cases. Many historians point to the 1947 murder trial of Dr. Lloyd T. Ross. Dr. Ross was charged with killing 4 members of the Willard York family on a country road in western Comal County. After a deal gone bad, which resulted in some financial losses, Ross took matters into his own hands. According to court records, the lone survivor of the York family, 13-year-old Ann York, testified that Dr. Lloyd T. Ross was indeed the man who brutally shot and killed her mother, father, brother, and grandmother.
A friend of mine, Dad's, came in, rode the train in. We met him one Sunday afternoon at the train station down on West San Antonio Street by the Brontex. And he stayed with us and he attended that murder trial. That was a big event for New Braunfels.
Another bizarre trial involved ex-lovers and a cat. The woman in the case accused her former lover of kidnapping her cat in an attempt to lure her back to him. The cat was taken into custody, but during the hearing escaped, leading all the parties in the courtroom on a mad chase around the district courtroom before being reclaimed. There's a photo of the courtroom showing evidence of a ghost, but after investigating it more thoroughly, it was determined that it was just a man who had exhaled smoke. That doesn't mean there aren't a few spooky tales in these walls, though.
Irene Noon was a county clerk.
When she passed away, they noticed that things were starting to happen in the courthouse. Lights being left on when they had turned them off. Computers would be turned off in the evening and come back in the morning, and all of them were turned on. Papers right in front of the employees that were stacked high would just fly across the room, as if someone had just, hit it like that, and they'd go flying across the room.
The remainder of the 20th century saw everything from simple cosmetic changes to more necessary technological upgrades.
Over the years, as our county grew, we had different additions to our courthouse to make do with our growing needs.
The interior of the building had been modified with drop-down ceilings and plaster walls and different kinds of flooring.
Whenever you get into a project like this and you have a building that is this old and has been modified and changed as many times as it was, you're going to have those challenges.
In 1976, the popular tower bells were installed. The set of Belgian bells were presented by Walter Faust Jr. to the people of Comal County as a gift to be installed in the tower of the courthouse. Before the building's centennial celebration, Dr. Robert Collier made the discovery that county officials had buried a metal box in 1898. On January 22, 1999, nearly 500 residents gathered to watch county officials unearth the time capsule. On that day, commissioners buried another time capsule to be unearthed in another 100 years. What an epic day for New Braunfels and Comal County.